Chapter 3. Avoid boredom. How often we have heard everyone use the word bored. Right from children to adults, all commonly use this word. A bored person is not a happy person. He is unhappy because he is unable to find any reason for amusement. A positive and busy person never gets bored. Boredom attacks inactive and indolent minds because they do not want to undertake positive activities. Boredom is also a cause of mental fatigue, which in turn leads to a feeling of constant tiredness and sluggishness. When doing something interesting, we are seldom tired, but boredom produces tiredness even when we are inactive. When you constantly seek stimulation and excitement, whether it is physical or emotional, the search brings about frustrations repeatedly. Those who seek new excitements every day find boredom and tedium in routine. Normal living. Ask yourself, is it possible to get exciting news every day? If not, why shouldn't I accept the routine as a way of life and find various ways to do the same thing so that I don't get bored? There is a simple cure for boredom. Whenever I am bored and listless, I put on my favorite music, don my favorite dress, and tackle the chores that have been waiting for a long time. If I am feeling good, I don't get bored. And how do I feel good? The nice dress and the favorite music do the trick in making me get over my sluggishness. Why don't you give this cure a try? I have no doubt it will work. Boredom is the end result for those who do not wish to make any constructive effort. Chapter 4. Accept yourself. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Gautam Buddha. The great Chinese philosopher Confucius was supposedly the most ugly boy in entire China. He had huge flapping ears, a boxer's squashed nose, and sharp, producing teeth, but he had huge flapping ears, a boxer's squashed nose, and sharp, protruding teeth, but he was astonishingly clever even at a very young age. As he grew older, he worked to improve the quality of life of his fellow countrymen. In time, he went on to be known as one of the wisest men in the world. I once had a friend called Anjum. She was a great girl, pretty, intelligent, and enterprising, but she suffered from a problem of her own making. She thought she was not as good as others. Each morning, as she looked in the mirror, she only found flaws with her looks. Either her nose was not too straight, or the eyebrows too close, or her lips were too thick. All she saw were imperfections in her features. Anjum would often confide that she was upset at not being as good as others. She found Maneka more beautiful, Sadhna more intelligent, Ruchita more good natured, so on and so forth. When I asked her why she felt she wasn't as good as others, she told me that God had been unfair by not giving her any good qualities. It was a simple case of undervaluing oneself. So many people are guilty of not recognizing their own talents and skills. They indulge in highlighting the missing traits and ignore the good characteristics that God gifted them. Not all of us can be as beautiful as Aishwarya Rai, yet we can highlight our plus points and come out a winner. If not beauty, most of us possess other qualities such as intelligence, a good voice, or a good hand at painting, writing, or cooking. Why hanker after things we don't have? Why not concentrate and develop the attributes that we possess? It is a matter of thinking positively. Personally, I think every woman is beautiful. If someone has good hair, the other has a lovely complexion or a fantastic bone structure. A prime example is film star Rekha. When she came into movies, she was overweight, dark, and quite ordinary looking. Over a period of years, she took pains to develop her good points and turned herself into an enviable beauty. Similarly, we have all been gifted with some talent or the other that can be honed into a winning point. I know of people who thought they were too ordinary, but once they had discovered their talent and worked upon it, they become famous. To be happy, one has to recognize the special gift given by God and feel thankful about it. Comparing oneself with others or complaining all the time that God has been unfair will do nothing but bring about unhappiness and discontent. When I had a long talk with Anjum, we discovered her talent with the brush. She was elated to find that she could paint commercially, and today she is earning a decent sum of money through her paintings. She has also learned not to complain about God's partiality. In the words of Norman Vincent Peale, since you have to live with yourself, it is important to develop a self that is pleasant to live with. Everyone has some talent, it is up to you to discover and hone it. Chapter 5. Be optimistic. Two men look out through the same bars. One sees the mud and one the stars. F. Langbridge. Radha was widowed when she was just 26 years old, barely 3 years after her marriage. Samir died in a car crash with a baby in the arms and little parental support. She did not have much to look forward to, but she was a survivor and an optimist. She took up a small job and set about putting her life in order. Besides the job and the baby, she also enrolled for a professional course through correspondence. We thought she was being too optimistic to think that she could cope with all these things, but she did. 5 years later, she is a leading designer and her daughter is one of the most secure children. Both have a beautiful relationship, and little Ria has inherited her mother's optimistic outlook and happy nature. One feels happy meeting them because they never complain about things that have gone wrong. Optimism is a great quality, it has many benefits. The best thing is that it never allows you to sink into the depths of depression or fatalistic thoughts. It helps you stay in good humor and look at things in bright light. So often in life, we come across people who are always complaining. Nothing ever goes well for them and they are never satisfied. Do you think such a person can be happy? Life is a cycle of ups and downs. Whatever goes up has to come down. Everyone is aware of this fact. Similarly, good days will always end, giving way to bad ones. A person who is positive thinker does not ignore the negative happenings around him. He just refuses to prolong his preoccupation with it. Positive thinking is a form of thought that habitually looks for the best results from the worst conditions. It is possible to look for something to build upon. It is possible to expect the best for yourself, even though things look bad. And the remarkable fact is that when you seek good, you are very likely to find it. How does one go about seeking the positive? Does one come across the positive just because he intends to find it? Well, it is matter of always being positive, and when one wants to find the positive in every event, even negative happenings will throw up something positive. The first step is to fill the mind with positive affirmations and crowd out negative thoughts. It is like clearing the garbage from your system. Once the garbage is cleared, you will find happier thoughts filling your mind. Positive thoughts have a way of ushering in happiness within your entire being. They suffuse you with a feel good factor that in turn brings optimism and happiness. The most important thing to analyze is why positive thinking works. There is a definite scientific principle at work. When you fill your mind with resentment, anger, and hatred, you destroy your human values and make it impossible for yourselves to be at your best. Biologically, you pump in more toxins and harmful matter into your system, which ultimately harm you physically. Skeptics declare that there is no great advantage of positive thinking. They are wrong. It definitely works if you allow it to do so. More than anything else, positivism stops you from destroying yourself. It is not an easy discipline. It takes hard work and firm belief. When the going is not good, most of us tend to give up. We don't want to hunt for the positive and easily accept the negative. The principles of positive thinking work when applied with honesty and sincerity. Optimism is the second best thing God has given human beings. The first is the ability to remain happy.